try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today, so we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. They always have been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since we've been out. The government has been Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto, guys. Today is Monday. This is your morning show where we bring you the latest Bitcoin and cryptocurrency technical, on-chain, and fundamental analysis every single weekday. And today we're going to be discussing what happens when Ethereum starts bouncing faster than Bitcoin. As you guys know, Bitcoin and Ethereum are both down significantly from their all-time high. And today we're going to be discussing, is it possible for Ethereum and its 2.0 launch coming up, hopefully soon, if it actually comes out when it's announced for once, to flipping Bitcoin. As you guys probably are aware, Ethereum is currently worth about $200 billion, with Bitcoin worth just under $500 billion. Conversations about whether or not Ethereum, after 2.0 launches, proof of stake goes live, the difficulty bomb drops, whether or not Ethereum can flip Bitcoin in that environment has been prevalent for years. And as so far, we have not seen that happen. We've seen major shifts in the style of what CoinMarketCap looks like. For a long time, Tether was down around 8 or 9. Now it's up at 3. For a long time, XRP was right below Ethereum at number 3. Now it is dropped down the list. Litecoin used to always be in the top 5, but two of the biggest cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum, have maintained exactly that pecking order for over half a decade now. And so the question is, with ETH 2.0 coming out, and with the difficulties that Bitcoin has had, considering the amount of drop in price that it has seen, could we see an Ethereum 2.0 flip Bitcoin? That's the question. We're going to be diving into that with a lot of detail today, as well as going over a lot of different things in our market pulse having to do with Ethereum, different Latin American countries, adoption of Bitcoin, and more. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a 1 in chat if you are excited for this week's worth of content. I am joined today, and as always, when I'm here anyway, by Tim. How are you doing, Tim?
What is up, everybody? I am not the first face you saw. It is great. I got a question for you, Jebb.
Yes.
Were you invested in 3 Arrows Capital?
I was not.
Okay, so that was a false rumor. Were you invested in Celsius?
No.
No, you were not invested.
I like Celsius, the energy drink, but I stopped drinking it because...
But not the crypto company.
Not the crypto company.
For legal reasons, we're saying...
For legal reasons, that's a joke,
Oh
quote
my
unquote.
gosh.
No.
Yes.
No, I was not invested in Celsius.
The rumors.
What are the other
were fun.
rumors?
There were so many.
Did I get hit by a truck?
I mean, definitely ones about the demise of your life. I don't think the words...
The demise
Like,
of
I
your
don't think
life.
there's words that
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah,
doesn't
we
want
can't
us
say
to
certain
use.
words on YouTube.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
The great shutdown.
It was good stuff.
The great turned off.
I am very
Jebb,
blessed.
did you and I get into a fist fight a couple weeks ago?
No.
Okay, good. Okay.
No, in fact, we hugged it out like bros about a week ago. It was great. It was great. No,
Oh,
I've been
man.
away with a lot of health things going on with myself, my wife, and my son. So it's been I'm not going to lie to you, it has been a very difficult few months. It's especially been a very difficult few weeks. So I have been away for that. We do have an announcement at the end of the show regarding that. We're going to jump into more detail on that matter later. But no, as far as any rumors that may be spreading as to whether or not I got liquidated, or whether or not I left crypto, or whether or not I gave up on Bitcoin, no, those are all false. I love Bitcoin. In fact, just yesterday was the 5th year that I've been in cryptocurrency. I can now say I've been in crypto over 5 years. Yesterday, July 31st, 2022, marked exactly 5 years to the day since I got into crypto, and I am more on fire than ever for this space. I am so excited for what Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market can bring, and I'm also so excited for how Tim's been doing. You absolutely killed it the last couple weeks that I have been out. Tim, I'm very proud of you and very thankful for you. But we're also joined, as always, by Smay. We've got to introduce him, too.
Hello, everybody. I'm doing great, and this is such a good day.
I know. I am so excited.
I gotta be honest, though. I'm very exhausted. I spent literally from when I woke up yesterday all the way to when I went to bed, and there's a fun story of how I ended up going to bed. Last night, just moving, and it was exhausting and whatever. But I'm doing so good now. I'm energized now, and I get to now come into work and say my favorite thing. My favorite thing in the morning.
Are they green names?
And that's green names, exactly right. That was a very good guess. So let's read some green names. We got Thomas Post. We have Mike Markle. We have CryptoSec Guy. We have Eye of the Beholder. We got Matt C. We got Kelly Kellum. We got crypto couple. We got Mitch Shaw. We got Adam Rourke. We got Greg Jenkins.
Greg Jenkins.
Eye of the Beholder. We got Sultan of Salt. We've got so many Grand Roofing Incorporated. And actually here, I want to read some of these new ones. We got Win Peoples. And, Mike Markle gifted 5 memberships. So we have Mike Lowry.
Whoa.
Jay Ferrari. We have Queen. We have Freedom Advocate and Tyler Main. A Mellow Fellow. And Silent and Martine Siebels and Freedom Advocate and all these great people.
Grand Roofing Incorporated.
And our good friend whose name starts with a D is not here.
He's not here.
This morning.
He's missed it once again.
That is unfortunate. So I'm not.
I don't know.
Was
Jebb still around? Does he on the show that we got him for the first time?
Yeah. No, maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Smay is a new favorite member.
I have a new favorite member, but we'll have to tell.
Oh, wait a minute. I know who you're talking about. I forgot his name, but I know who you're talking about. No, that was before this last couple of weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, but wait a minute. We just got 5 memberships just got gifted. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They added that from Twitch.
They added that from Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube definitely doesn't want to lose out to Twitch, and so they've been doing a good job. YouTube seems to be where it's at, and we got a lot of fun here on YouTube to jump into. But Tim, today is a very special stream. In fact, we've got something really awesome going on the first Monday of every month. Would you like to tell us what it is?
Yeah, so those of you who have been here for a little bit now, this is our 3rd month, I think, doing this.
I believe it's the 3rd.
But the first show of every single month, we're giving back. So every single dollar that is donated in Super Chats will be going to Life for the Innocent. Some of you guys know we're partnered with a company, a ministry over in India that helps get children out of slave sex trafficking. So every single dollar you guys donate today in those Super Chats will be going straight to them. If you guys don't know a lot about them, there's a link in the description. You can go find out a lot more. Again, this show's always been bigger than us here in the room, bigger than crypto. We just talk about crypto. And we're here to change lives. And so if you want to be a part of that, please, please, please donate today. This is the best day to give a Super Chat.
Yeah.
So if you've been sitting on the fence with that, go ahead and do it today.
And also, by the way, don't forget, Life for the Innocent, you can also donate directly to them because YouTube does take a portion of the Super Chat. So if you have something to say or you want to encourage somebody to go and donate, then make sure to do a Super Chat. But also,
Links
don't forget,
in the description.
You can go directly to their site and donate straight to them as well. We are big patrons of them, and we're very, very thankful for the work that they do. But Tim, I think that we have a word that we want to jump into.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the reasons we're here today, we can continue to just come give you guys all the content that we do, is because of our sponsors. So we want to thank them so much. And of course, this sponsor is a really important one because it is a cold wallet. It is Ledger. If you guys don't have a cold wallet now, you need to go ahead and do it, especially as we continue to see the exchanges topple. And that's a very big discussion. Should we be encouraging exchanges? There's a lot of stuff. Actually, last week I talked with Mark Yusko about why we should be leaving at least some of our money on exchanges to further the crypto space. But you absolutely want to get at least a good amount of your money off of exchanges and take away that risk of it being lost. Become your own bank. Get your own cold wallet. You can do that with Ledgers down in the description below. If you don't have one already, make sure to sign up with one today. But that is our sponsor for today, and we can return.
Make sure to check them out. But guys, we have a fantastic market pulse to jump through here, and Tim's going to introduce the stories and we're going to discuss a little bit. So Tim, take it away, my friend.
All right. Yeah, this is usually T Shroom, so it's my day to get to run through the stories. And some of these, we're going to go through Ethereum news because that is probably what is popping the most right now, and we're going to discuss it in the second segment. But the first thing I'm going to bring to your guys' attention, you can go to my screen there, Smay. From Watcher.guru, pause right there. If you guys aren't following Watcher.guru on Twitter, go do it right now. It is at WatcherGuru. Yep. They had some news break this morning, and it was funny because I was even trying to look for articles, and I'm sure by now maybe articles are coming out talking about it. But Ethereum miners generated $571 million in revenue in July of 2022. Of course, this is in correlation with Bitcoin miners generating $555 million in July. So Ethereum actually outpaced Bitcoin. And of course, we're about to have ETH 2.0, so Ethereum won't have miners anymore. But the question that is on everybody's mind, is this the potential sign that Ethereum will end up flipping Bitcoin? We're going to hold off on that discussion, that question. I'm going to get all of Jebb's thoughts, maybe even some of Smay's thoughts and my own here in the second segment. But a couple other things that are interesting about this story. So They also had a report here, Watcher.Guru, about the fact that Bitcoin miners' earnings dropped 16.7% from June to July, and it has a lot to do with the price of Bitcoin being really low. And so if you guys wanted to go to their Twitter page and click through this, you can go through it. But there's one chart that I thought was very scary about Bitcoin. It's this one right here, a tweet from Jaron Mulrud. I think that's how his name is pronounced.
That's a name.
But miners have started to dump their Bitcoin holdings. Public miners sold more than 100% of their production in May, a massive increase from the usual 25 to 40. Those of you who remember, this was the time we were kind of talking about this. Normally, miners start selling at the tops of markets, not the bottoms. But it was getting to a place where they couldn't even afford to continue to pay their electricity bills, so they were forced to be liquidating some of their Bitcoin. And that measure right there, more than 100% of what they were earning. That is kind of scary. However, there is something that we can hold on to and say that potentially we're coming back to a place of significance with Bitcoin mining, back to some confidence, because Bitcoin miner capitulation is due to end amid the first difficulty increase since June. This is another article here on Cointelegraph. If you guys want to go over to their website, you can go read it. We love Cointelegraph here at Crypto Jebb. But the thing I thought was most interesting is you scroll down, it talks about this. All signs, albeit contested, emerge that price strength is returning, so the chances of better conditions for miners are improving, according to Blockware. Capitulation, as defined by Hashribbon, should be over before the summer. If there are no new lows in Bitcoin, and again, there's a lot of fundamentals and news kind of pointing in that direction, we should expect the miner capitulation to end in August or September at the latest, the newsletter added. Last thing here, talking about the difficulty, specifically mining difficulty is due for the first increase in 2 months on August 4th after 3 straight downward adjustments in a row. Currently, it's projected to be positive, and there's a high probability that it persists, Blockware summarized. So, yes, we've had some mining difficulties in Bitcoin, and yes, some of the miners have been forced to sell at times where it's like, this is probably not the best time to sell, and usually we like to watch the miners sell to kind of say this is a local top. And instead, they're selling at the bottom because they are absolutely terrified that they cannot continue to keep the lights on. But hopefully, there is some rest coming to that soon. Jebb, you have any quick thoughts about that before we move to our next story?
Yeah, I mean, the thing to keep in mind is that a lot of times when a market is bottoming out, that's when you're going to see a lot of these big signals flashing. You can start to see things like minor capitulation flashing at the bottom. You start to see the market hitting major moving averages at the bottom. You start to see major companies like Three Arrows Capital, like Luna, all of these different companies that have gone under, Celsius that is in, rough waters right now. You start to see a lot of these big stories towards a major turning point. So when you start to see major minor liquidation happening at the top, well, that's a turning point. You can end up seeing the same thing at the bottom. A lot of the things that we're seeing happen right now are shaking out weak hands, shaking out weak companies, shaking out weak miners, and potentially could be showing that the weakness in the market itself is getting shaken out, and then we could be seeing that bottom sooner than we might think. Like Tim said, a lot of the things that we're seeing right now are not necessarily pointing for a lot of bullish strength, but are not necessarily at the same time pointing towards a much bigger drop to the downside, at least from what we're seeing right now. So that's encouraging.
Yeah, well, let's keep moving on with our market polls. You can go back to my screen here, Shmay. Breaking. Petition seeking SEC Chair Gary Gensler's resignation picks up the pace. This is actually really interesting. And this article, I thought I knew a lot about some of the things being thrown against Gary Gensler, but there were some things that popped off to me. I didn't know this. And talking with, I think, our Malachi, one of our data analysts here at the Crypto Jebb site, he said, oh, no, we've known that for a while. I was like, okay, I didn't hear about that. But I'm going to read you guys what I thought was the most significant part of this article. A petition against SEC Chair Gary Gensler on Change.org has gained massive attention after recent allegations of corruption and market manipulations. Gary Gensler needs to step down due to his failure to protect retail investors from fraud due to naked short selling and dark pool abuse by Citadel Securities. Citadel, the market maker. Meanwhile, Citadel remains operational despite manipulating the stock market. So that's, right there, it's very much a crypto group. In the article, it talks about it's the crypto community going after him. But what I thought was really cool, Gary Gensler is also accused of shorting crypto-focused stocks such as AMC Theaters and GameStop through Vanguard Group and BlackRock. Recently, lawyer John E. Deaton revealed that Vanguard Group manages funds for Gensler for his firms Annabelle Lee LLC and Marital Trust. SEC Chair has over $100 million in wealth, 90% of which is managed by Vanguard. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh my gosh, how the heck have I not even heard about that? That is absolutely a conflict of interest. And last thing I'll say about this article before we move on, the petition has received 16,000 votes, becoming a top signed petition on change.org. I don't know if anything will actually happen with this. I don't know if there's anything that could actually force Gary Gensler to step down, but it is interesting to note that the masses are speaking, and that is picking up steam. I urge all of you guys, we don't have a link to it, but if you are in agreement, go find this petition and sign it. Get that number above, let's get that above 30,000.
You know what I think needs to change? The base salary for the SEC chairman. They don't make any more than $200,000. Apparently, it's capped at that. But the dude's, according to the article, worth $100 million. I wonder where all of that wealth came from.
I also, hey, listen, maybe
I wonder if
maybe
he's
allow them
friends
to
with
make
the
money.
guy that manages Nancy Pelosi's fund.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe we don't have a problem with what he makes. Like let Gary Gensler make good money. Whatever.
I got no problem with that.
He shouldn't be allowed to trade. He should not be allowed to be shorting and longing markets. That he has regulational.
Does that make any sense to anybody in the audience?
No sense whatsoever.
The chairman of the SEC, who knows probably better than any human being alive, or at least he should, what's going on in the securities market, is allowed to trade and short stock. What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Wow. Keep moving on, though, because this is just the market pulse. Good stuff in here today, though. Binance lost 90% of its customers after implementing KYC. And I don't want to go into too much detail because, we'll be here for a while because I have one other story I want to talk about here. However, there was an investigation being done about, the illegal activity that Binance has had since 2017. And I'm going to kind of summarize here. You can go off my screen for this one, maybe, because, if you guys want to read the article, it's on getblock.net, it looks like. Anyway, it talks about how, Binance, they believe that one of the reasons why they had so much illegal activity for so many years was because illegal activity looks for the cheapest and easiest route to do so. And so it's kind of like, they're kind of like giving themselves like a little high five, like, hey, we're really cheap and easy to use.
Hey, we're really easy to be illegal on.
But ever since they've implemented KYC, they've seen their numbers drop dramatically, and it's looking like about 90% of their users have gone off. And of course, they're saying that it moves to some others. But I know in the same report, it talks about how actually Binance was found in their investigation to be a better exchange and have a lot of better advantages than Kraken, Coinbase, and a couple others. It did talk about VPNs, and I believe, yes, a lot of people use VPNs, but VPNs are not exclusively used for illegal activity, so you can't just say, well, you have X amount of VPNs being used, therefore you have illegal activity going on. It was a really cool story, but that is huge because Binance, of course, is one of the few exchanges that was hiring more recently, so they're growing, despite the fact that they ended up losing 90% of
They want to look like they're growing anyway.
Well, I mean, they hired people here recently.
No, I know.
Whereas Coinbase was laying people off, and a couple other exchanges are having some problems. So we'll keep our eyes on what's happening with Binance.
Was it Messi Binance got? Or was it Ronaldo?
I don't remember.
They got one of them.
I don't remember.
They got Ronaldo, didn't they? They got Ronaldo, and then we said on the show that Coinbase is going to try and get Messi. That's what it was.
Maybe.
Yeah, so that's right. Binance is trying to expand aggressively, but the reason I say that they might be wanting to look like that is they could be going out, and this is tinfoil hat territory, but a lot of companies are doing this right now, it seems. They could be going out and trying to hire more people just to make it look like they're doing well, so their brand image looks really good, and they're trying to look like a sign of strength. And they may be in a position to really do that. Hopefully that's the case. I think Binance has a lot of success in its future.
Well, last story I have here for Market Pulse, and then we're going to jump into some technical analysis. El Salvador's Bitcoin bet is working, finance minister says. Again, I'm not going to read all the parts in the article, but he talks about the details of, yes, is there a lot of FUD out there? Yes, are people coming against them? But Bitcoin's bigger than trading. He says it has brought his ability to give his people that have not had access to banking a bank. It's also brought a lot of attention from, guests and visitors. What do you call it? I'm blanking on the name. I got to read it, make sure. Tourists. There you go. Tourism has increased in El Salvador. And this is cool because going to the second story, kind of part of this, is that Honduras is also attracting crypto investors. They want to start doing stuff with Bitcoin Valley to be able to get more tourists coming to their country as well. So I think that, we're reading a lot of FUD from IMF. We're reading a lot of FUD from people trying to say that El Salvador's Bitcoin experiment is failing. It's a failure. However, when you're looking inside, there's still a lot of hope and optimism. And the fact that Honduras is now kind of following suit and saying that that's their rationale, that's actually pretty interesting. Obviously, this needs some more deep digging because I'm sure you're going to find a lot of people on both sides saying it's a success versus failure. But
the thing is, I want to know what the guy who runs a street vendor, I want to know what the street vendor in El Salvador thinks. I want to know what the family of four in El Salvador thinks. Because I remember at Bitcoin 2022 when the guy got up on stage who implemented the security and onboarding for the Bitcoin wallets, the Shiva wallet, the founder and CEO of Shiva wallet, got up on stage and talked about that. I have a video on my phone of it. Guy got a standing ovation when he said, if we can save $4 on remittances in a transaction coming into the country, that feeds a family of four because a meal costs $1. in El Salvador, he got a standing ovation from 4,000 people. That's what I care about. You know, when El Salvador adopted Bitcoin, the IMF came out and said, we're going to place sanctions on you because you don't have the ability to implement a currency in your own nation the way that you want to. That's ridiculous. It's none of the IMF's business how El Salvador is running their country. The thing that is upsetting to me, now there's forgiveness, but the thing that is concerning to me is that the IMF thinks that they understand how to run El Salvador better than El Salvador believes that they know how to run El Salvador. El Salvador did not adopt Bitcoin to get rich quick. I think a lot of the people in crypto, not necessarily in crypto, but some of the people outside of crypto who view crypto as a get-rich-quick scheme are looking at El Salvador and saying, hey, your investment didn't work. Their investment was not in dollars and in Bitcoin. It was an investment in infrastructure that they hope will pay off in the future with the appreciation of the Bitcoin they've purchased. The reason that El Salvador brought online Bitcoin was not so that they could go and get rich quick and buy a yacht for the president. Now, they might have that. I don't have any idea on that. The point is, they brought online infrastructure. Bitcoin makes money, but we've got to get our eyes off of the investment going up and the money being made and the to the moon mentality, and look at Bitcoin as what it was designed to be, which is immutable currency that is infrastructure, which allows the little guy to actually have financial sovereignty. And the reason I make such a big point about that on the El Salvador front is because right now, you're probably under attack on 17 different fronts from people outside of cryptocurrency saying, how's that cryptocurrency bet going for you? You might be down 60, 70% right now on your cryptocurrency investment. The fact remains, Bitcoin's infrastructure is stronger than ever, and the El Salvador point is a place where you can exemplify that to anybody who would bring that charge against this industry.
You know, that just even kind of finishing off what you were saying. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's really easy to hit on El Salvador during the bottom of a bear market, but when we get back to the top,
what's that saying?
People aren't going to be laughing at
what's
them
that saying? If they can't handle me at my worst, they don't deserve me at my best. That's kind of what we're saying here with that.
Well, it's 10:20, so I actually think a little bit different. We normally jump straight into TA, but we are getting a lot of super chats in. We read like 5 super chats and then jumped into TA and then caught back into it.
That's right. So you want to go ahead and read super chats?
I think Smay wants to read them today.
Okay,
I'm going to read them today. I have them pulled up.
Boom.
All right, guys. You ready for some super chat time?
Let's do it.
I feel like I haven't done this in like over a year.
Come on. Yeah, it's been a long time.
So I'm so excited. Jay Ferrari donated. He said, "Thank you so much, Mike Markle, for the membership. Glad to have you back,
very nice of him. Yeah, for real. So glad to be back. I cannot tell you how excited I was sitting in this chair, getting ready for this stream. It feels like I've been away for so long, and I am excited to be here today. Thank you.
All right, and now we have Grand Roof Incorporated said, "Good to see you back, Jebb."
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
And then let's keep it going. Oh, and then When People says, "I'm also far better than I deserve."
Yeah, so, I saw in chat people were T-Shrooms in chat.
Better
so shout out
Shout
T-Shroom.
out to T-Shroom.
Shout out to T-Shroom.
Oh, I see him now. Shout out T-Shroom.
I didn't see him in chat. Oh, yeah, he is there.
We have Crypto Set Guy says, "Jebb leaves, D's Nuts shows up." Jebb comes back, D's Nuts goes away.
I'm secretly my own troll. That's the
Jebb
secret to
also
YouTube
D's Nuts?
success. Be your own hater or troll.
Jebb, are you D's Nuts?
I am not.
Okay.
I am
he's
not.
not D's
That
Nuts.
rumor's also false.
Yeah, add it to the list.
And then Edward Hess donated $10. Did not leave a comment, so shout out to Edward Hess. Come on. Then we have Matt C says, "Welcome home, Jebb. Great day to come back with super chats going to help kids."
That's right. Absolutely.
Well, let's jump into some TA and then we'll come back and read the rest.
Let's do it, guys.
Perfect.
I am so excited to jump into this. We're going to be running through Bitcoin, Ethereum. If we have time, we're going to jump into some Cardano, but we probably won't have a lot of time to go too deep into that. I want to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially since we're going to be teeing up for this discussion about can Ethereum, especially with the 2.0 update allegedly coming out somewhat soon this year, can Ethereum flip Bitcoin? Let's run it down. Guys, over the last 6, 7, 8 months, as you know, Bitcoin has been in a major capitulation. We're currently 2/3 retraced from all-time high being just under $70,000. We're trading, luckily, at $23,400 right now. If we look down here on the daily, you can see that we have been moving to the upside with a little bit of confidence over the last couple of weeks, going back to the bottom in mid-June. Now, the first thing I want to point out here is how strikingly similar the last 6 weeks of price action look to what I saw when I was in the market back here in December of 2018. I remember vividly at the end of November, early December 2018, back here when Bitcoin dropped below $6,000, lost half of its value, went down to $3,200. Right now, we're complaining about Bitcoin being at $24,000, $23,500. I remember when Bitcoin was at $3,200. When I got into the space, all-time high was less than $3,000. We saw this market drop down to $3,200. It retraced 50%. in 32 days. But how did we see the market recover? Because, of course, the market did recover. We ended up going to $70,000 just about 9 months ago, around November the 10th. Well, what we saw was a very slow and gradual movement to the upside. We saw Bitcoin start to slowly but surely recover. It just barely set new higher lows. It just barely set new higher highs. And that's actually very similar to what we saw at the end of the 2014-15 bear market, which I wasn't here for that. I got in July 31st, 2017, 5 years and a day ago. I got into the cryptocurrency space. We saw Bitcoin just barely setting new higher highs, just barely setting new higher lows, depending on how you define them. We were pretty much trading sideways. Then we saw one movement to the upside, which was wonderful, but Bitcoin just kind of very slowly moved to the upside. The point I want to make here, and the comparison I want to draw between the last 6 weeks and the last 6 years, is that when Bitcoin is bottoming out, it typically bottoms out in a rounded kind of cup formation. When Bitcoin tops out, it moonshots, and then in an instant, it drops. I remember when Bitcoin hit all-time high at $20,000. Boom, boom. Rallied from $3,000 all the way to $20,000 in the span of 4 months. Dropped all the way back down to $6,000 in less than 60 days. We saw Bitcoin V-top. What we saw in the bottom here in 2018 and 19 is we saw this rounded bottom. It was only in the event of a black swan with a pandemic that we saw a V-bottom happen on the major long-term time frames. Now, V-bottoms do happen in the market all the time, but as far as primary market shifts, so we're talking about bull market, bear market cycles. Remember, there's 3 markets. There's primary, secondary, and tertiary. You got the primary market, that's your bull market, bear market. You got your secondary markets. Those are your trends. Then you have your tertiary markets. Those typically happen on the hour to the daily chart. Those are your counter trends. Those typically will go against the secondary movement, which typically will be going against the primary movement, or you just factor it in with the primary movement. The point is, on these primary movements, bull market, bear market cycles, in Bitcoin's history, so far anyway, we see V-tops and rounded bottoms. What are we seeing right now? We're not seeing this classic boom, crash down to $6,000 and then boom, rally all the way back up to $70,000 that a lot of people were expecting. We talked about on the show many times how Bitcoin could potentially go as low as $9,000, although that's not very likely. Although a more likely scenario could be a $14,000 drop on Bitcoin. That's not what we're seeing right now. We're starting to see what looks like a very similar bottom to what we saw happen over here in November of 2018 going through March of 2019, a rounded bottom. Right now, we're not seeing a really strong trend. We're not seeing the bulls come out in strength. We're not seeing a massive rally, nor should we expect that. I think that there's a tendency in the cryptocurrency space over the last 2 years. Remember, I've been here for 5 years. I've watched the market grow and develop, and the sentiment about the market grow and develop and change with the way the market is acting over these years. And what I've seen over the last 2 years is a lot of people expect bottoms to look like what they saw here in July of 2021, where we dropped very quickly and then rallied very quickly. First of all, this was not the end of a bear market. This was the end of a secondary trend that was counter to the primary bull market. So we shouldn't really expect the bottom of a bull market to look like this. On top of that, the bottom of a bear market to look like this, what we saw in July 2021. Also, we shouldn't expect the bull market to resume and the bear market to end in a way that we saw in March of 2020, because this was not the bottom of a bear market. This was the bottom of a black swan event that shut down the global economy, wiped out a third of the wealth in the world, and completely ground every single industry, especially aviation, cruise lines, hospitality, transportation, to an absolute standstill. 2.5 years later, we are still trying to recover from it. We shouldn't compare it to this. What we should be comparing this market to is the bottom of a the bottom of a bear market that fully played itself out, like what we saw in 2018, because I believe that we've seen the majority of the correction that's going to happen unless we see something fundamentally come in and wipe out a lot of the market capitalization that remains. I think we should be comparing our current market to 2019's beginning and the bottom here in 2015. So if we're doing that, then what are we seeing right now? We are seeing a major capitulation, 44% down in 11 days. This market on the logs, this drop on the log scale doesn't look that big. Even on the linear scale, it doesn't look that big. This was a 45% drop in the span of just a few days. That's what we saw happen over here. We saw one final capitulation, 50%. We saw that happen over here in 2015. We saw Bitcoin drop 65% in 70 days. We saw that major capitulation event. We also saw, if you go out to the weekly chart, Bitcoin drop down to one of its major moving averages. In this case, we saw Bitcoin drop all the way down to the 200 weekly moving average. We dropped below it. Right now, we're fighting to get back up above it. That's a point of its own. We're trying to get above a major moving average. If we do that, we will probably see bullish strength coming into play. That same moving average is where we bottomed out here in December of 2018 and also back here if we go on the BLX Brave New Coin Liquid Index chart for Bitcoin, that's where we also bottomed out here in 2015. So all signs are showing that we have a very strong possibility of bottoming out around this region. So what's our points here? Number one, we saw a major capitulation event around 50 to 60, 70, 80% in size. We saw that happen about 2 months ago when we dropped 45% in 11 days. Check. We saw Bitcoin drop down to the 200 weekly simple moving average. Check. We saw Bitcoin start to set new higher highs and higher lows, but not aggressively, very slowly, because the bulls aren't strong, but the bears are exhausted. That's an important point. It's not that the bulls are strong right now. It's that the bears seem to be getting exhausted. Now, what we're seeing in the fundamentals with minor capitulation, there could be one more capitulation. There always could be. But it's starting to look like the worst of the bear market might, and I say this tentatively, might be over. There could be one more drop down to $14,000 because there is a recession, which the White House doesn't want to call it that. The Federal Reserve doesn't want to call it that. Nobody wants to call it that, but technically speaking, we did just enter a recession. We're seeing 75 basis points get added. Now, Jerome Powell came out saying, acting like he's going to be more dovish. We're also seeing one of the fastest slowdowns in the U.S. housing market that we've seen since 2008. There's a lot of geopolitical factors going on. There's new contagions going around. There's all kinds of things that could lead to another drop on Bitcoin. Technically speaking, however, looks like the bottom could be in. Now, let's compare that to Ethereum. Let's jump on over to the Ethereum chart. Ethereum has been rallying very quickly. And a lot of people are now looking at Ethereum thinking, okay, Bitcoin is rallying relatively slowly. Ethereum is rallying relatively quickly. Ethereum is up 90% in 40 days. That's wonderful. Thing you need to keep in mind, Ethereum dropped 81% from all-time high. If we look at Bitcoin, it dropped 74% from all-time high. Ethereum dropped farther than Bitcoin, so it stands to reason that it's going to recover faster. On top of that, when people see any kind of confidence coming out of the Bitcoin market, then they're going to, because this is such an established market, especially the whales that understand the 5-10 year picture here, they're going to start looking at these alternative markets, the altcoins, and they're going to start, because they're smart money, placing their bets and picking their horses for the next race. We're going to see a bull market in the next 2-3 years. That much we are pretty much certain of. We can't be totally sure of that. I mean, the internet could disappear tomorrow and Bitcoin, you know, you have to update the blockchain with pen and paper, you know. But the point is, we're most likely going to see Bitcoin go into a massive bull market in the next 2 to 3 years as inflation, hopefully, at least nominally, gets under control. And we start to see the housing market start to cool off, and hopefully we start to see geopolitical events cool off a little bit. Hopefully that'll occur. Bitcoin will have a little bit more of a healthy area that it can start to rally in. When that occurs, the big smart money, these institutions that have been around 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years, that have been through world wars, that have been through Vietnam, that have been through 2001, 2008, they have been through 2020. They are looking at these markets, and they're saying, this is an industry that could be worth $100 trillion. Of this, I am sure. Bitcoin solves one of the biggest financial problems that we have ever witnessed in the history of mankind, and that is that the individual, similar to how El Salvador is in this situation, understands their interests better than any outside force. And if they don't, you know what they need? They need education. You don't need to take the financial sovereignty away from the people. You need to educate them on how to achieve financial sovereignty properly. That's why our entire business model is around education. That's why we come here and bring you informative but educational content every single day here on this channel and 5 days a week on Coffee and Crypto, because we want to educate you on how to handle your financial sovereignty properly. Let me wrap all this up into a nice, neat bow. 1, Bitcoin is showing a lot of signals, technically, that it could be bottoming out. 2, geopolitically, hopefully, we're starting to see things calm down a little bit, or will be in the next 6 months, with recession now being confirmed, even though the White House doesn't want to acknowledge it. Joe Biden, it's a recession. We can go along with the definitions that we've been using for a century. 3, you could see interest rates start to taper in the next 6-12 months. Hopefully we will. Well, hopefully for the short term, unfortunately for the long term. 4, you have institutions that have been through financial crisis before and realize, okay, the sky's not falling, the world's going to recover, looking for opportunities with the cash that they're sitting on. And you also see that this market is primed for a massive rally in the next 2 to 3 years. When is that going to happen? We don't know. Hopefully it'll happen sooner rather than later. If it happens a year from now, the institutions don't care. They're willing to wait a year. Are we? That's a question. What I'm saying here all wraps back up into the bow of financial sovereignty. Financial sovereignty means having the control and the decision-making ability over your currency and the way that it works in your hands rather than in someone else's. Yeah, I'm a father. I have a son named Malachi. He is 21 months old. It is not in his best interest for me to do everything for him because he's never going to learn. My son does things for himself. Now, we obviously take care of him the best we can. but we want to teach him how to be independent. Not so that he can, not that we don't want to have a relationship with him, but he needs to know how to live in the world. What we want to help you guys with, not that you're our children and not that you're any less than us, not that my son is, but the reason that we want to educate you and the reason that I love what El Salvador is doing and the reason that I love that we have so much opportunity here is because if we take the financial sovereignty out of our hands and put it in central banks, put it in the Federal Reserve, put it in the U.S. Capitol, put it in the president, put it in anybody, a talk show host, put it in me. If you put the financial sovereignty, your financial sovereignty, my financial sovereignty, Smay's, Tim's, and anybody else's hand, then what we're doing is we're teaching ourselves to be dependent on someone else rather than doing what we should be doing, which is educate ourselves. So all of this wraps up into 1, there's an opportunity. 2, there's a method with which to take advantage of that opportunity. It's called education and cryptocurrency. And 3, you have to make a decision. Are you going to choose to take financial sovereignty into your hands, make the most of these markets and the opportunities that we have? I think that there are a lot of opportunities here. But we have to understand that if we let somebody else do everything for us forever, we're never going to learn. They are not going to be able to take care of us the best. The best person to take care of you is yourself. You got to be independent in your finances so that you are able to sustain yourself. We want you to have financial sovereignty. Education is the gate and key to that. Now, how does all that tie into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Well, if you want to have financial sovereignty in cryptocurrency, a beautiful thing is investment and looking at how cryptocurrencies are going to move against each other. Ethereum, obviously, is the topic of today's show. Is it going to be able to flip in Bitcoin? That's the question. Let's look at the technical. So far, Ethereum is recovering pretty much more quickly than we're seeing Bitcoin. Ethereum dropped all the way down to $900, trading at $1,800 right now. Really excited for what Ethereum is doing. Very excited for the potential of ETH 2.0 having a big impact on it. Bitcoin, comparative to Ethereum, looks pretty flat. It's been rallying 33%. Ethereum has rallied much quicker. The thing I want you to remember on this is, as I said earlier, the institutions are looking not just for growth, are not just looking for gains, they're looking for the biggest gains. They're looking for the risk-to-reward ratio of whatever they're investing in. Bitcoin, low risk, lower reward. Ethereum, higher risk, higher reward. Altcoins, very high risk, potentially very high reward. A lot of these institutions are on the fence. They're going to be investing in Bitcoin because it is relatively low risk, but also relatively low reward compared to the rest of the cryptocurrency market because it's already worth $500 billion. Ethereum, on the other hand, has more potential for percentage-wise growth simply because it's worth less. So I think a lot of institutions are looking at Ethereum right now, and I think you're going to see a lot of institutions gobbling up Ethereum right now. But the question remains, can Ethereum flip in Bitcoin? Right now, that does not look like it's in the cards. We're going to jump into the discussion more about that here in a second. Technically speaking, however, if Ethereum does continue this rally and it sets a shoulder line here, around $1,700, which is around where it is right now, we could potentially see a form of an inverse head and shoulders pattern come into play here. And the beautiful thing about Ethereum that you don't really see with any of the other altcoins is that Ethereum is a large enough market to be able to move the market on its own. It's very rare that you're going to see Binance Coin or XRP just running down the list of all the non-stable coin cryptocurrencies, or Cardano or Solana or Dogecoin or Polkadot. It's very rare you're going to see another cryptocurrency in the top 10 be able to start a market-wide movement. It's really only Bitcoin. 80% of the time it's going to be Bitcoin that sets the trend, and sometimes it's going to be Ethereum. If Ethereum does actually set a bottom here locally, around $1,700, rallies up to $2,200, and then back tests it, we could actually see an inverse head and shoulders pattern form here on Ethereum. That would give us a price target of roughly $5,000. Is that going to happen? Not necessarily, but it is an opportunity. Let's go ahead and take a look here at some of our other technicals because some of them are extremely encouraging. Lux Algo, for example, is under a buy signal. That's huge. Guys, do you understand how powerful Lux Algo is? We've been showing you Lux Algo signals for the last year. They are ridiculously accurate. If you use our method of combining Lux Algo's buy and sell signals with the trend catcher, you're going to find that Lux Algo has about an 85 to 90% accuracy when calling these markets on percentage gains and movements. You can see I'm just highlighting. If you want to pause the video, I don't have time to run through all of them today. If you want to pause the video here and look at all these signals that I'm highlighting, some of these are invalid because they were not confirmed by Trendcatcher. If you look at all these signals when they are confirmed, every single daily chart signal on Lux Algo that's been confirmed by Trendcatcher has been accurate going back a year on Ethereum over US dollars daily chart. We have a buy signal on Ethereum right now that came into play on the 16th of July, got confirmed on the 17th. We are up significantly from there. Keep in mind we do have take profit, and these relatively new take profit levels are very powerful and potent. Understand that we could see a backtest on Ethereum relatively soon, but that is very encouraging. We don't, however, see a buy signal on Bitcoin just yet. What we may be seeing start right now, and Tim, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, is that we actually could be seeing the beginning of a total market recovery in the form of an altcoin season. Do you think that that's something that's happening right now?
I think so. I talked about this on the show here a couple weeks ago, that what we are seeing is absolutely what we're going to see when the bull market eventually does come back. I don't believe that it is here yet, and I have my fundamental and news-related reasons for that. However, I do think that right now the alts are making this look like a very enticing market that is leading a lot of people, I believe, into a bull trap. So that being said, what we're looking at looks really good, and you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people are going to look at that face value. They're going to look at the charts. They're going to just look at the technicals. They're going to see all those things going, and they're going to say, all right, it's time to invest. It's time to get in. The bottom's in. We're good. It's time to go up. And it's like, it's not that simple. But again, it's because you got to look at more things than just the charts. And you guys know I love charts. My name is T.A. Tim.
That's right.
You just got to use a lot more than just charts when you're making investment opportunities. So.
What button do you think they should press?
I think they should smack the like button.
Smack it.
Smack it.
Smack it.
You know, I did have, I did have one thing I wanted to show on the Bitcoin chart that I thought was a little interesting.
By the way, Lux Algo's in the house. Shout out to Lux Algo.
Come on.
Make sure to sign up for Lux Algo. Use coupon code Jebb, J-E-B-B, for 20% off at checkout. If you want a not perfect, but near perfect indicator. There's no such thing as a perfect indicator. Near perfect indicator for calling daily chart trends. You got to get it. Links down below.
So a lot of you guys know that we've been using this trend line right here. I don't know why my trend line is on 1. I'm going to make that thicker for you guys so you guys can see it right there. Let me go all the way to 3. All right, so a lot of you guys know we've been using this level of resistance. This is what gave us the top of that bear flag that we ended up breaking through. False top, came back down into it, broke it once again. Now we're back below. But I was looking at it this morning. I'm going to take away that line. This is the line I was using. You'll notice I use an extending line, but I started by just drawing from these peaks right here, back when we had a wick come up. A wick come down, actually shot back up, and we had a candle body close right there. And of course, we had a wick touch right there. And notice we've had 2 touches here as well. All right, that alone right there is 4 touches. 4 touches of this resistance level. I'm like, okay, this is a pretty important line. You know, out of curiosity, I'm just looking at those angles. Let me go ahead and make this an extended line. So I'm not changing anything, guys. This line is drawn as it is right now. Let me go back and show you guys what this looks like in history of Bitcoin. Let me go in auto. And then I'm going to scroll even farther. This line has so many significant touching points. It is crazy. So this has been used all the way back here, back in 2013. We were using it. Yes, we had some wicks go above it, but you notice a mass amount of those candles. We closed below. We kind of rejected, came back below it. Broke through it, started that bull market, came back down, hesitated on it right here back in 2014, ended up breaking through it, and then used it as resistance 1, 2, 3, kind of had a face breakout 4 times before we turned it bullish again. Then we used it as support, and that whole bottom of the bear market back in 2018 rode this line. Of course, the pandemic had us break back below it, but other than that, we used it as support. Then, of course, we broke back down into it, and that's where we find ourselves right now, going back to the 4-hourly chart. Let's get this all nice and clean. When we broke below it back here in June, we've now used it as resistance 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This is a significant level that has a lot of history in the Bitcoin space. So what I want to watch happen, Jebb, I think it's very possible that Bitcoin continues to trade sideways, especially with everything we had happen with the Fed, especially with the fact that we're going to have to wait 2 months before we actually get any update to the interest rate.
Right.
We've been talking about this. I don't think this explosive rally is going to come. I think a boring sideways action. The question is, do we flirt with this line? Do we break above it and then break back down below? Either way, I'm going to keep this line on my chart now for a long time to watch how we play with this.
Well, I think the question on everybody's mind right now, or at least this should be the question on everybody's mind, is the bear market over and accumulation phase starting? Remember, in the history of Bitcoin, we have a bull market, bear market, accumulation phase, restart cycle. That's what we see. Now, restart is not part of that cycle, but you loop. You go back into a bull market. That's been what has happened throughout history. In Bitcoin, you see Bitcoin bull market, normally about 2 years. We had about a 2 to 3 year bull market with a black swan event in the middle, the pandemic in March 2020. Now, what we're looking at now is, are we officially transitioning into the accumulation phase? I, gut feeling here, believe that we are. We could see one more drop to the downside down to $14,000. That is a possible price target, however, I believe to be unlikely. What I'm seeing right now is I think we're moving into accumulation. What characterizes an accumulation phase? Boredom. Ooh. I'll be back in 6 months. Bye, Bitcoin. You're really lame. I'm going to go watch, like, hockey or something more interesting. I'm sorry, I just railed on everybody who loves hockey. I don't like hockey, so I'm sorry. If anybody likes hockey, please forgive me. The point is, everybody's leaving Bitcoin right now to go and do something more interesting. That's what characterizes an accumulation phase. The most number of people are in a bull market because they can make money. The second most number of people are in a bear market because they're watching the blood on the streets and they're watching it like reality TV. And in an accumulation phase, everybody's leaving because they could find literally just about anything better to do in their mind. However, the accumulation phase, being the most boring phase, is the most powerful phase for you to make money. That's why everyone who is here, 1,500 people watching right now, now's the time. Now's the time. If you want to make money in crypto, you got to get out of this mindset of, oh, I'll come back when the bull market's here. By the time you decide, okay, a bull market's finally here, you're probably not going to say, okay, we're in a bull market until we're past all-time high. You're going to miss out on most of your gains. And by the way, you're going to miss out on your opportunity to learn. I've been in crypto for 5 years and a day now. And I am so excited about that. By the way, I will be invested in cryptocurrency my entire life. I don't ever plan to not be invested in cryptocurrency. I always plan to hold cryptocurrency. In fact, I want to increase my holdings in cryptocurrency. I have so much faith in this industry. It's not even funny. This is one of the biggest opportunities that we have had in a lifetime. I'm 21 years old. In my entire lifetime, this is the biggest investment opportunity that we've ever had, period. I firmly believe that. If you choose to leave now, cryptocurrency that is, if you choose to leave the industry, and you don't look for ways to invest, I will never stop looking for ways to invest in cryptocurrency itself, in Bitcoin. And you're not investing in your education, you got to watch out. So I will always continue to invest in cryptocurrency. I know, Tim, I can't speak for you, but I assume you will always be looking for more investments in crypto, right?
Always. I mean,
love this industry.
So it's a funny story. My wife, some of you guys don't know this. Oh, I'm breaking it. Taylor actually got one of her dream jobs. You know, she has a couple dream jobs. She has a lot of things she likes in life. But before the pandemic, she was a teacher at a part-time capacity, and she loved it. She just got a job working for a private school as a PE teacher. So she is no longer with us. So if any of you guys are emailing, Anthony is a phenomenal. I don't know if Anthony's in chat, but Anthony is phenomenal. He's our new guy. But Taylor, she calls me. The point of the story wasn't to tell you guys Taylor left. She calls me. She's like, hey, I just found out I can sign up for some retirement matching funds from my company. They're going to match up to 3% of my paycheck that I put over there.
Wow.
And I was like, in USD, she's like, yeah. I was like, hey, we can just take that money in TCA into crypto, and it's going to turn
boom,
into
use
so
hedge.
much
That's
more.
a great transition for you right there.
Well, I was going to transition. I was going to ask you, Jebb, do you have any interest in being paid in Bitcoin?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, then we should get hedge.
Well, then we should get hedge.
Ba-doom.
Boom. GetHedge.io. Take it away, Tim.
Yeah, that's our little segue there. It's another one of our sponsors. We had to get in there before we conclude this show up.
Had to do it.
But if you guys don't know what Hedge is, phenomenal company. It allows you to get paid in crypto. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano, whatever you want, you can be paid in it from your job. And the advantage of that, if any of you was like, why don't I just take that money from my job? Why don't I just get paid my paycheck and then turn it into crypto? Well, you got to pay exchange fees in there. What if you just saved yourself a little exchange fee and had your company pay you directly? Maybe you're asking now, you're like, well, Tim, my company doesn't do that. They don't really have any crypto to pay. Well, that's the point of Hedge. Hedge signs up so that they can get your direct deposit lined up. So a part of your paycheck goes directly into your exchange or into your cold wallet, whatever you're using to hold your money. You can get it set up to be paid a part of your paycheck or your entire paycheck all in crypto. And this is the absolutely best time to be doing that as we're sitting. Whether we keep going down in the bear market, whether the bear market bottom is in, we are in the bottom area of the bear market. It's the best time to start accumulating. And again, what better way than to just go ahead and turn that money you're earning into crypto now, because that dollar is getting less valuable by the day.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and read some super chats. And actually, we got to talk about ETH 2.0.
Let's do a couple super chats, and we'll jump back into ETH stuff, and then we're good.
Yep, then we got an announcement.
All right. Eye of the Beholder donated, and he says, glad you're back, Jebb. Been praying for you.
Thank you. All the prayers are appreciated. We believe firmly in the power of prayer, and I know that the Lord hears those, so thank you so much for all of those. There were a lot of them, by the way. Really means a lot to me.
Next, we have from Jay Ferrari again. Proud to donate. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all you guys do. I appreciate the education and information to build personal and financial sovereignty. I can't thank you all enough. Keep up the amazing work.
We love you guys. We love you guys so much. It's not even fun. I mean, I was going to say it's not even funny.
It's a little funny.
Which is not. It's a little funny. It's a little funny how much
It's
we
a
love.
little
We do silly things
Thank
out
you,
of our
guys,
love
man.
for you. Like behind the scenes, you guys don't see it. If there was a camera following us around everywhere, you guys would just feel so much love with what goes on behind the scenes here. You know, it's really sad. Some companies, they got stuff going on behind the scenes. You're like, man, whew, hope that doesn't get to light. That's not us, man. There's just so much love and brotherhood and camaraderie at our company. It is absolutely beautiful. I hugged it out with Shannon this morning, man. It was great. So thank you for that. It really means a lot.
All right.
By the way, pause real quick for anyone who's new in chat who wasn't watching earlier. Super chats today are all like 100% of everything donated today is going to Life for the Innocent, a ministry we're partnered with that helps save children from sex trafficking. So if you guys would love to donate and ask a question and you want to give some money, it's not even going to us. So like, it's not like, oh, just pump the Crypto Jebb bags. Today, everything we make is going back out. And there's a link for, if you want to learn more about that ministry, there's a link in the description down below. Go check them out.
Yeah, and we're a sponsor of them as well, so we very much appreciate what they're doing. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, next we have Gia S says, thank you all for what you do.
Thank you, Gia.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Gia, definitely.
Next we have from Milan. Does Lux Algo work for traditional stocks as well?
Totally. Absolutely it does. Lux Algo is phenomenal on traditional stocks because it doesn't have anything to do with the cryptocurrency market the way Lux Algo works. It has to do with the way the technical analysis works, and technical analysis is cross-compatible with all industries. So that is something that is hands down absolutely true. If you want more information on that, feel free to check the link in the description box down below. Go to Lux Algo's website. They have a massive amount of information on their product and on how it works. I really highly encourage you to get Lux Algo. It is one of the best, if not the best investment we've ever made in our own technical analysis, next to the education of learning how to use technical analysis.
You know, right now, I'm working with Sean Mack to create a course on Club DeFi.
Boom! Is that an announcement for the channel? Did they know that?
Well, so, you know, Club DeFi, those of you who are struggling with Club DeFi, Club DeFi has some bugs at the moment we are fixing, so thank you everyone who's being patient. But that doesn't mean we're stopping, you know, doing everything we need to make it the best resource possible. And I believe that's going to be a free course. So even if you're not signed up for Club DeFi yet, you kind of want to see what it's about, that's going to be a great course for you guys to watch, learn more about, be able to use your Lux Algo, and then if you want to sign up for Club DeFi fully and get involved with our Discord, by the way, that's another thing all itself. If you're signed up with Club DeFi and are not in the Discord, you are missing out.
You're missing out on a lot.
Make sure you go sign up for that today. But yeah, that was a little, I wasn't really trying to plug Club DeFi there. I was just letting you guys know Lux Algo course is coming. So,
and here's our last super chat from Matt C. He says, traditional finance is on its last legs. They will fight tooth and nail to hold on, and the next 10 to 15 years will be rough. But they will ultimately lose to the better system.
Yeah, I mean, so did newspapers, so did the horses. You know, if you look at, there's a graph of, I've shown this on stream before, so I'll just mention it. There's a graph of the global horse population, and it peaks around 1900. And then it drops off a cliff.
I like horses.
I like horses too. But when was the last time you rode one to work? You know, the industry
I might
died.
start, honestly.
Yesterday.
What's that?
I said I might start riding a horse.
I rode in on a horse today.
I got 486 in my Mustang. How about you? My Mustang has 1 horsepower. I'll have you know.
Hey, man. Times are getting tough.
It's a dying industry. Traditional finance. Now it's gonna reshape itself. I mean, newspapers turned into mainstream media. Mainstream media is gonna reshape itself again, but it's dying. I totally agree, Matt C. You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, Tim, let's discuss this, and then we have an announcement to make.
Yes.
Do you believe that Ethereum 2.0 is going to flip Bitcoin?
No.
Blinders are on.
No. So I'm not saying it absolutely could not, but I don't think it will. And I think the reason why is because it's really convenient right now to have this narrative pop back up when Ethereum's doing really well. Where were all the people screaming Ethereum was going to flip Bitcoin when Ethereum was dropping at a faster pace than it seemed like any other crypto was during the bear market, right? So this is a convenient thing right now as ETH 2.0 is coming out. It's really exciting, but guess what? Even if ETH 2.0 launches right on September 19th, which I do think it will, I think we finally have some real hope for an official launch on ETH. That doesn't mean the problems are going to go away. There's going to be new problems that come up with it now moving to proof of stake that they're going to have to handle. Now, I don't think necessarily they're going to lose their spot at number 2 either. You guys know here we love Cardano, we love Polkadot, we love all these other, layer 1 solutions. But I think Ethereum needs to. I don't even think Vitalik is sitting here saying I got to flip Bitcoin. I think he knows, hey, I'm going to focus on just being the best altcoin. And here's the other thing. Let's say it does flip it. So what? Bitcoin and Ethereum are very different. The fact that people treat them as if they're identical platforms and they're doing the same thing, it's just not true. That's like comparing a phone company to a car company. They're not accomplishing the same thing. Ethereum's point isn't to be a store of value. That's not what they're creating to do. They're trying to actually create products and create abilities for people to utilize things at a higher level and change the way we operate as a world, whereas Bitcoin is trying to fight the financial issues, being a store of value, and making sure that currency in the future is backed by something realistically valuable. They're very different, but I think there's still, right as the momentum gets going, and Ethereum could get close again, because at one point, it was less than a half of what Bitcoin's value was, but then Bitcoin took off away from it. So it's one of those things, like every single time Ethereum starts to really creep up and get close and try to start making the argument, it's like right before Bitcoin's gonna say, all right, that was cute, all right, I'm gonna take off, and
that's where we might be right now, because
no, I think you're right, and I'm throw it back to you. But my point is, I think Ethereum should more worry about staying the greatest altcoin than it should worry about being the greatest crypto.
And luckily, I think that's what Vitalik is doing. Like you said, I don't think Vitalik sits around like, I'm gonna eat an apple like a super villain from a movie and say, I'm gonna flip Bitcoin. I don't think that we see Ethereum doing that. I think Ethereum is genuinely trying to, rebuild its foundation. Ethereum's a skyscraper and its foundation is cracking. It's got a lot of work on itself to do, and if Ethereum 2.0 comes out and they have the updates with transactional throughput, because that's not coming immediately, and transaction fees, that's not coming immediately, then they have the ability, because they are top dog, to take off and leave Cardano and the others in the dust, and they'll end up having to, be chomping at the bit to try and get what Ethereum has. But Ethereum is at a turning point right now. Is it going to succeed? Is it going to fail? A lot of it comes down to ETH 2.0. And I think Ethereum 2.0 will launch at some point. I am skeptical as to whether or not it's going to launch when they say it's going to, because I'll believe it when I see it at this point. But the fact of the matter is, ETH 2.0 is going to be one of the biggest updates that has ever happened to the platform, and it will be one of the biggest bullish stories that Bitcoin has seen in a long time. And if Ethereum 2.0 does come out, what did you say the launch date was supposed to be? September 19th?
September 19th.
If that actually does launch September 19th, that could be a catalyst for a major turnaround in the market, because we're seeing the Federal Reserve slow down interest rates, at least seemingly that they're going to. They haven't yet. We saw another 75 basis points. Seems like they might start to slow that down in light of the fact that we're entering a recession. Now, nobody wants to call it a recession. Last I checked, the economical definition of a recession that the United States has run by for decades is 2 quarters of GDP growth being negative. However, this time, because midterms are coming up, it's not a recession. Yes, it is. It's a recession. Maybe not as bad as we thought it was going to be, but it is. Bitcoin has a major opportunity here. It's at a crossroads. Either it can go down, it can trade sideways, or it can rally. I think it's going to trade sideways for a time, and then if we see a catalytic event and enough fundamentals coming back in from the rest of the geopolitical space, from the rest of the traditional financial space, we're probably going to see a big rally. I'm very hopeful that you're going to see Bitcoin back up in the 30s by the end of the year. Do I know that? Of course not. But what I do see is that Bitcoin's community is growing stronger than ever. Bitcoin's its fundamentals with the updates that have come to Bitcoin in the last 2 years, growing stronger than ever. The mining ecosystem is growing stronger than ever. 5 years ago when I got into the cryptocurrency space, the mining industry for cryptocurrency was a bunch of dudes with a basement full of miners, and now we have publicly traded companies worth billions of dollars mining Bitcoin. That happened overnight. That just, boom, one day, okay, there's a bunch of publicly traded companies that are mining Bitcoin. The growth in Bitcoin is ridiculous. This industry is 100 times more advanced than it was in 2017. I remember when I got in 2017, I was a freshman in college. I'm sorry. I was in college, but I was a senior in high school. I was dual enrolled at Santa Fe. I remember walking around. I remember one time I was walking past the P building. You've been to Santa Fe?
Yep.
It's P building. That's the one in the middle with the big circle?
Yep.
Yeah, I was walking past P building with somebody. I don't remember who it was. This is before Tim and I met. By the way, Tim and I did not meet as work relationship. We met as brothers in Christ. We were in a Bible study microchurch together. I remember walking past there, and I was talking to somebody about crypto, and Bitcoin was trading at $5,000 at the time. And I told them, what I see happening, and now this has come to fruition over the last 5 years, what I see happening is that I am going to be here early. I realized at that time when I was 17 years old, I wasn't even 18 yet. I realized at that time, I just turned 17, how early I was in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I actually got into crypto when I was 16 years old. I realized how early I was, and I realized if I could learn about Bitcoin, if I could learn about cryptocurrency, if I could fully understand what it is that Bitcoin is doing, what it is that Satoshi Nakamoto envisioned, because at the time I realized it was huge, but I also realized that I didn't fully understand. There's always more understanding to have, but I understand financial sovereignty now, after making 2,000 videos on this channel. I remember telling a friend that I was walking with, I told them my dream. In fact, I remember who it was. I'll leave him nameless, but Tim, you've actually met him. He came to microchurch twice. I was walking with him, and he was asking me, why am I in this cryptocurrency thing? Why am I putting all my time into that? Because I just got a job at the bookstore there. And we're going to go a few minutes over today, but we have some announcements to make, so that's okay. I was walking past with him, and I told him, friend, leave his name out, the reason that I'm in cryptocurrency is because I want to make a better life for myself. I want to make a better life for my family. I want to have something to give to my children. And I told him, I want to be the person, one of the people, because there will be many, but I want to be one of the people that were here early enough that I understand it, that I can guide people to cryptocurrency. In fact, when I had this conversation, I don't think the channel had even been founded yet. In fact, I know it hadn't, because the channel's first video went up November 16th, 2017. This conversation was in September. Bitcoin was trading at $5,000. It had just dropped. They were asking me about the drop. And I told them, I want to be here early enough that I can guide people to crypto. When the masses start coming into crypto, as we have seen in the last 2 years, I want to be one of the people that help them understand. This was actually before the channel was founded. But this is what I was telling him on that walk. And that is what I've been able to walk in the last 5 years. The last 5 years have been the biggest, most impactful 5 years of my life. I'm not very old. I'm 21. The last 5 years have been incredible. And I will be invested in cryptocurrency for the rest of my life. Of this, I am confident. I don't know anything for sure. At this point in time, I am planning to be invested in cryptocurrency for the rest of my life. I do believe I'll see $1 million Bitcoin one day. I do believe I'll see a $2 million Bitcoin one day. I do believe if Ethereum is still around, we'll see a $50,000 or $100,000 Ethereum one day. I believe one day you're going to see 100 plus countries adopting Bitcoin. I believe one day you're going to see Cardano worth $1 trillion. I believe these things because I have studied Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for thousands of hours over the last 5 years. And so it's with a very heavy heart. And to be honest with you, over the last 5 years, I've learned how to compose myself on camera, but I'm like on the verge of crying right now, just being vulnerable and real with you. It's with a heavy heart I announced that I'm going to be stepping away. And I am so very thankful that when I do that, I have somebody to carry that on. You guys don't know this. Tim actually took over as the chief executive officer of the company about 4 months ago. He's been running daily operations for the last 4 months. Tim has been running the company in my stead for the last 4 months because of a lot of health issues, a lot of family matters that have been going on behind the scenes. As you guys know, I got married in March, and I have a ministry. I have a top priority, and that's my wife, and that's my son, Malachi. And I've been taking care of them with everything that I have. I am so deeply, passionately in love with my wife. I love my son. I love my ministry here too. I've been praying on this for months, and I realized the face of this channel is not supposed to be me anymore. It's supposed to be Tim. That's a shock. I guarantee you we're about to see some craziness in chat. But Tim, you've been on the channel for about 1.5 years now. You came on to replace your wife with customer service.
Yeah.
I remember the day that I realized that this is what was supposed to happen, that you were supposed to come and work for us. It was my first C12 meeting, and we were talking about something called an integrator. I'm a visionary. And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying that that's my personality. I look into the future and I say, wow, this is what this could be in 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 years. But I'm not very good at daily operations, so I realized, wait a minute, Tim is already planning on coming in to help with customer service, but this is what he is. He's a people person. He's great at operations. He came in to help us run the business behind the YouTube channel. And then we realized, wait a second, this dude is passionate about crypto. If you go back on the Instagram when he first started doing technical analysis, he was drawing dinosaurs. He was like, hey, look, it's a lightsaber. You remember that video on Instagram, right, Tim?
Gosh.
Those were the days.
That's rough.
You remember that? You remember the first stream he was on?
Yep. Yeah, it was great.
It was pretty funny. It used to be a running gag on Coffee and Crypto when Coffee and Crypto started that Tim didn't know anything about TA.
Yeah.
Tim used to be my disciple on crypto. Now I learn from him. Tim has grown more in the last 1.5 years in TA than I have, by a long shot. His passion for it is beyond anything that I've ever seen. And I love the influencers in the cryptocurrency space, but I'm going to say it, beyond anybody that I know. His passion for cryptocurrency and his passion for you guys is remarkable. He's done an incredible job running this company in the last 4 months that I've stepped back as CEO. He's done an incredible job on this channel. You guys have seen a ridiculous amount of growth on him. His drive to understand cryptocurrency, disciple you guys, and run this channel in my stead is without question. That is for the world to see on this channel. So, but why am I making this movement? Well, it's something I've been praying on for a very long time, for the last 3 or 4 months. And, you know, I haven't been able to be on the channel as much as the channel needs me. You know, it's Crypto Jebb. This channel has my name on it. And see, that's part of the problem, is that this was never meant to be about just me. That's why Club DeFi was founded. Because what we're doing here is never supposed to be about Jebb. It's supposed to be about you. It's supposed to be about a community. It's not supposed to be about a figurehead. It's not supposed to be about me. It's not supposed to be about Tim. It's not supposed to be about Smay. It's supposed to be about us. That's what we realized when we were founding the branding for Club DeFi. It's about the community. It's about coming together and learning about cryptocurrency together. And with the channel being my name and being my face, I'm in the way of that. And when I'm not able to be on the stream for reasons that are valid, that hurts you because you're not getting consistency. That hurts the company because you're not getting consistency, and that hurts all of us. We are making a movement towards where Tim is going to be the face of the company, and I'm going to be stepping back for a season. I don't know how long that season is going to be, although at the moment it is planned to be indefinite. And you will probably still see content from me on another channel. I'm probably going to be starting my own channel called Jebb McAfee that is separate from this. And you probably will hear me commentate on cryptocurrency, and I might make appearances on other channels. But as of today, I'm stepping back from the company. It's something I've prayed through. It's been one of the heaviest decisions on my heart. It has been the heaviest decision on my heart for the last 4 months. And I know that it's what the Lord wills for us. And I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, 3 things. Number 1, cryptocurrency is here to stay. It is going to be a $100 trillion industry. This is what I believe. I don't technically know this, but I do firmly believe this. Cryptocurrency is going to be a $100 trillion industry. It's going to revolutionize the way that finance happens. And I will be in cryptocurrency until I breathe my last, so long as this industry is still here and it still stands for what it stands for today. Number 2, I do firmly believe that Club DeFi is going to revolutionize the way that education happens in the cryptocurrency space. I believe that's what its purpose is to do. I believe this channel has the purpose to do just that. And 3, I do firmly believe that, number 1, Tim loves the people in this company so much. He is such a shepherd. He was before he ever joined the company. Number 2, that he loves you guys more than you'll ever know. Way more than you'll ever know. I wish we had behind-the-scenes footage of some of the things that you've seen that Tim has done for you guys that you'll never know about, that he's done for the company that you'll never know about. And 3, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Tim loves me as a brother in Christ. I'm firm in that. Tim is a better CEO, and I'll say this at my own expense, is a better CEO of this company than I was. I believe that. And he's doing a phenomenal job on the channel. And I am honored that when I'm called to step back, that I have somebody to step in. So thank you for that, Tim.
Thank you, Jebb. I mean, yeah, this is, so in case anyone was wondering, this is new to us too. We've known now for about a week that this is the plan. Jebb, myself, and Manny, talked about this about a week ago. Yeah. This is going to be, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a transition. Those of you wondering if the channel name is changing to Crypto Tim, no, it is not changing to Crypto Tim. We're actually going to probably be changing it to Coffee and Crypto. And as Jebb mentioned right there, it's really hard. That phrase is easier to say than it is to probably put into practice. This channel is bigger than Crypto Jebb because the name of it was Crypto Jebb. Jebb did this for so long by himself, but he built a team, whether he knew it or not, he built a team to be able to do just this. Like, that's what he's poured into us. We have our T-shirt room. We've been able to connect with so many other great people in the space. Yeah, this is hard. We got Smay here. We got Tim here. We got T-shirt room here. We bring on Kelly from time to time. I want to see a lot more Kelly on the channel. Yeah. Caleb Franz is a new guy that we really connected with. See more of him. See more of, just see other people. And I think that there's still a space, that I want to encourage all you guys. I'm watching chat. Some people are saying I'm unsubscribing. I was here for Jebb. I get it. I completely get it. But I want you guys to know the reason why we're not just shutting down, because it could make sense just to say, hey, Jebb needs to move forward with his life. Why don't we, shut down the channel? The reason why is because of words I remember Jebb told me the first day I came here, and he's told you guys this on several occasions. When he first grew, he told his dad, he told his dad, oh, look at all the things we're doing. And he was a one-man operating, but he kept saying the word we. And his dad's like, what are you talking about, Jebb?
Yep.
What are you talking about? You did this yourself. He's like, no, Dad, it's all these people that joined with me. We're doing this together. And guess who's not leaving if they don't want to? You guys. You guys can still stay and be a part of this team. Yes, it'll have a new face, and yes, it'll have probably a different kind of little identity to it. But we will continue to be a phenomenal channel at helping and growing a community because of all the stuff that Jebb laid down for years. And the purpose of this channel is not changing. The thoughts of this channel are not changing. The ministry and the mission that we have as a company is not changing. The only thing that's changing is just a different talking head and we're gonna spread it out a little more, because that's the other thing. I don't want to become this like, oh, it has to be Tim. Like I want you guys to be listening to T Shroom and listening to Smay and anyone else that ever comes on this team, because it's gonna be a team, not just one person. And then you guys as a community, just being engaged with every single piece of content, liking them, subscribing, and encouraging your friends to subscribe, commenting in the section down below in the comment section to build this community. This next season is going to be fun. It's going to be a fun season, but it's also going to be sad moving forward without Jebb. So I just want to again say thank you so much, Jebb, for the opportunity you've given all of us. Thank you for everything you've done for every single person in this community, and I know that they would say that if they were in the room right now. Yeah. And also, you guys know I'm excited. I'm excited about what the future holds. I'm excited about continuing to grow, because that's the other thing is, I'm not even going to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm not going to pretend to be some form of an expert. I'm going to be learning and growing in the crypto space right alongside you guys. But that's what a community is. A community is a group of people who bond together and do everything together. And I cannot do that without you guys. Jebb didn't do it without you guys. So I thank every single person that's going to stay around and help us continue to build this.
That's right. And so, guys, this isn't, to be clear, the last that you're going to see of me today. I'm going to be on a multitude of shows over the course of the month of August, so that there is a final, and I'll say it for myself, a bittersweet run. I remember the day that I told Tim and Manny what the Lord was calling me in, that that I was looking at the channel, I was looking at all of them, like, man, was that the last stream I'll ever do? And I was so excited that I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to come back and do a couple more, do more than a couple. I'm probably gonna be on quite a lot over the next several weeks, over the next couple of weeks. And this isn't going to be the last that you guys are going to see of me. You're going to see more content out of me, I believe. I believe I'm going to be making more videos, more of the kind of phone style videos, the Sunday sermon videos that you guys see. Although I'm not always going to be talking about cryptocurrency, you guys care about what I think on other topics. And I do have something to say. And I do believe that I'm still called in the direction of making content that you guys are able to see. So that might not happen immediately, but this isn't the last that you're going to see of me. I'm not disappearing off the face of social media forever, and I probably will make appearances on other channels or talk shows or whatever people will be gracious enough to invite me on. And I do think that this is going to be a very interesting season for me, and I care about you guys, and I know you guys care about what I'm doing with my life, and I realize that, and I'm really excited about this. And it's bittersweet because, like I said, it's just funny that this announcement falls on 5 years and a day since I got in cryptocurrency, because it's been 5 years.
Wow.
And the last 5 years, I became a believer. I was saved. I met thousands of people that have revolutionized my life. I met Tim. By the way, a lot of you guys don't know this. Tim and I have been friends for 1.5 years before he ever came to work for us. We were strong friends before he ever came to work for us. Tim and I are not work relationship friends. We were friends before we ever got started working together. We love each other as brothers. And that's what I love about this company, about this channel, is that there's brotherly love here, brotherly and sisterly love here. This is not just a business, guys. It is a business, but this is something that's a lot deeper. This is ministry. We care about you guys. We pray for you guys all the time. I know you guys pray for me. I pray for the company. I pray for y'all. And we believe that there's power in that. And this is not over. Financial sovereignty is a lot bigger than Jebb McAfee. And while we can look back and we can say, this was great, it was a good run, okay, it's over, now I'm going to go find something different. I don't think that that's what we're supposed to be doing right now. I don't think that that's the direction that we're called in. I think the direction that this company and that this channel is called in is to hone in on what we mean when we say financial sovereignty. Notice, when I define financial sovereignty as taking back control of your finances and your financial systems and your financial situation from the powers that be, educating yourself so that you know how to run your financial destiny so that you are able to go forth, build the kingdom of God if you were so blessed as to be a believer in Christ, and go forth and help people around the world, and go forth and take care of your family and take care of your children and take care of your church and your community. Financial sovereignty never once in that definition had the name Jebb McAfee in it. This is not and has never been about me. The story Tim brought up, I made that decision to use the word we, to use the inclusive language, when there were 5 subscribers on this channel. There are 229,000, over 300,000 followers across all platforms. Now, our content has been viewed by about 10 to 15 million people. It has always, since day 5, been about we, when I realized that. That was the first realization about the philosophy that was going to lead this channel to success, was it was about us, not about Jebb McAfee. And so what I want you guys to look at this as, and this is a request that I really want you to take seriously, because I know there's a lot of very strong fans of this channel. please don't look at this as, oh, it's over. Jebb's gone. Look at this as a crystallization of what this channel was founded for in the first place, which was never to point to Jebb. It was never to make Jebb rich. It was never for Jebb to become famous. It was never about that. It was about helping you guys. A year and a half ago, we realized it was about helping you guys find financial sovereignty, and we were able to define the mission and the vision of this company. So take this season of me stepping away as a crystallization of why we're here in the first place. Because what do I always tell you about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? If we don't understand our why, we'll fail. Through this transition, I believe that our company and our following is going to understand the why behind not only this channel, but also behind cryptocurrency a lot clearer, because I'm no longer standing in the way of your understanding of that. And that's my prayer. So, Tim, would you like to wrap us out? Or would you like me to? You think?
Yeah, I mean, we got more shows. I'll wrap up for today, but just in case you guys are wondering,
I can also do the
he
piece
said
if
it.
you guys
He
want.
said it. He this isn't his last show. He's going to be here for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I mean, last thing I would say is I just want you guys to know how much we love all of you.
Yeah.
I want you guys to know that this will always be about, building community and building people who want to better themselves and create financial sovereignty. Hashtag financial sovereignty will be the big thing about what we do, helping you have control over your money, not your money have control over you. And the beauty of crypto is it allows people to do things just like what Jebb is doing now. And he is moving on. He's going to be taking care of his family, but he has some really big things he wants to do in his life. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't love you guys. That's why it's this bittersweet thing, is because when you have to say yes to something, sometimes that means you have to start saying no to others. And unfortunately, at this point, he's having to say no to staying on the channel. Yeah. But we love him. We hope that, we love you guys. We hope that you guys are going to continue to support him, continue to support this channel. We're still going to go very, very far, very big far places. Love every single one of you guys. Absolutely. That's all I got for you.
The vision over this channel has not changed. The mission over this channel has not changed. And the core value of the dream mentality that we have here has not changed. I still believe, and I continue to believe, I have no doubt in my spirit that this channel, Club DeFi, this company, are going to be ridiculously successful. Not only in growth, but also in ministry opportunity. For all of our believers out here, I pray that you will pray for us. Pray for us that this transition is going to go smoothly and that it's going to continue to go well. I believe it will. We have to follow the Holy Spirit on that. If you're a believer, I am making a prayer request. I don't do this very often, but I'm praying that you will pray for us that this transition goes smoothly, because this is a big change. It is a personality-based YouTube channel. It's based on my personality, so it is a big change. We do firmly believe that this company is meant to succeed and thrive, and we think that that's going to happen. So continue to pray for us in that. We appreciate that. Any final thoughts from anybody? And I guess I'll wrap it out since they haven't seen the piece in a while.
That's what we'll be back tomorrow.
Smay, do you have any thoughts on that? Yes, I'll be back tomorrow.
No, I mean, this is a new season, and we'll see we'll see. Jebb, I'm praying for you, and
thank you.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this next season we're going into. So that's all I have to say. Jebb, without further ado, go for it.
It's been a while since I've done this, and I'm really looking forward to it. Man, the next 2 weeks are going to be so great. I'm so excited. I am so excited. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media, because we post daily to all of them. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok over on Crypto Jebb. Over on TikTok, over on Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us at Crypto Jebb Official over on TikTok. Make sure to smash that like button on this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And by the way, make sure to follow Tim at TA Tim over on Twitter. Make sure to follow Kelly at Kelly Kellum over on Twitter. Make sure to continue to stay tuned, because there's a lot of great content coming out. Make sure to check out Club DeFi, because it's only going to continue to grow. We have a lot of faith in that. If you enjoyed today's stream, continue to pray for us. We really appreciate you. Before I go, though, for this stream, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.